guys? Welcome to One Shot Comic Reviews. I am Joe filling in for Javier, and this week I'm going to be talking about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 12 from Boom Studios and Power Rangers vs. Justice League number 2 from DC Comics and Boom Studios. Here we go. If you haven't read Power Rangers number 12, I'm going to forewarn you, a lot happens in this issue, so spoiler alert, but let me catch you up to what's been happening. So far, the Rangers have defeated the Black Dragon, and Tommy and Billy, before the Black Dragon shrunk down into normal size and were defeating it, they get teleported to another world. And that world is ran by the Green Ranger / White Ranger, which is that villainous ranger that we've all seen and people are already starting to cosplay. The reveal in last issue was that that ranger is actually the future version of Tommy. Now, here's where it gets good, and here's where I'm going to start talking about issue number 12. The Rangers come face to face with evil Tommy after he takes off his helmet, and Saba is the one that saves them and leads them away by calling the White Tiger Zord. That's right, you heard me say it. The White Tiger Zord is in this issue. So they all jump into the White Falcon Zord, and Saba takes him to the woods that belong to the Coinless. Now, the Coinless come in later on. That's a very important term. But Tommy is hesitant and doesn't necessarily want to go with Saba because he doesn't know who he is. And we all know Saba. He's that floating sword that Tommy used to talk to Tommy in the Power Rangers. But Billy agrees with Tommy. So Saba says, you know what, let me give you a backstory on why this alternate future is the way it is. And why is it the way it is? Well, Tommy fights the evil Rangers in the timeline. But they destroy the Sword of Darkness. And in our timeline, or in the regular timeline, normally Tommy would return to being a good guy with the other Rangers. But not in this timeline. Tommy actually stays a villain even though the Sword of Darkness is destroyed. Now, Saba doesn't know if Tommy wanted more power or if he was just evil all along. What ends up happening is that he teams back up with Rita. They keep fighting the Power Rangers to the point where they beat them, and the world gives up control to Rita Repulsa. In doing so, Zordon and Ninjor create the White Ranger out of all the goodness that's left in the world to be the strongest Ranger there is. But a little plot twist, the White Ranger in this universe is not Tommy, it's Jason. Jason gets an upgrade as the White Ranger. In doing so, the final battle culminates between the Rangers, and Tommy kills Jason and gets the White Ranger power, but not all the power, because Zordon locks up Saba, and Saba can only be unlocked with somebody of good of heart. And that is how Saba knows that Tommy is the good Tommy from a different world and not the Tommy that he's used to, the evil Tommy. Now, something that I found amazing in this issue were that we got to see the Alien Rangers and we got to see, that's right, me, the Phantom Ranger. He is in this episode, in this issue, I couldn't believe it. Also, that's not it. When we finally get to the woods, we see 3 people come out. Trini, Aisha, and I think Bulk. It looks like there's somewhat of a resistance there. If that's not Bulk, I'm not sure who it is. Could be Rocky, maybe they just drew him off. But it is amazing. This was a lot revealed, and it was worth it. These 12 issues have been amazing. I can't wait to see where it goes now and how many other future Rangers we're gonna see. Are we gonna see Rocky? Are we gonna see Adam? Who knows? Justice League and Power Rangers number 2 came out last week, but we didn't talk about it. We're gonna talk about it right now. We still end up with the pterodactyl with the Batmobile in its mouth, and Kimberly says there's a man flying right next to her. That man knocks on the pterodactyl. It's Superman, and he says, "Excuse me, miss, we have to talk." After that, we see the fight on the ground. The Green Lantern shows up. He puts the Power Rangers in some kind of force bubble. The Power Rangers don't want anything to do with it. They call their Zords. Their Zords almost fry the Green Lantern. Cyborg rushes them out of the way, and then as soon as the Tyrannosaurus is about to fire another shot, Flash zooms in, vibrates in, takes Jason out of the Zord, and is about to pummel him, and until Superman stops him. And Superman says, hold on a second. And then Jason is getting a message from Kimberly, and Kimberly says, wait a minute, these aren't the bad guys. It looks like Kimberly's tied up the next scene in the Lasso of Truth, and she said, I had a long conversation with Wonder Woman, and now all's gonna get sorted out. But this isn't it. We finally get to see where Lord Zed ends up. Lord Zed ends up on a ship with these other aliens that are familiar. If you're a DC fan, you know who they are. I don't know who they are off the top of my head. I'm sure Javier would. But we find out these little guys are talking to Zed, and they're afraid of Zed. But Zed isn't giving a fuck. Zed's like, I'm gonna take over this world too. Come to find out, Zed is with Brainiac. That's right, they meet face to face. By the end of this issue, it seems like the Justice League and the Power Rangers, finally make their team up because monsters are attacking all over the world, and you know they had to be sent there by Zed and Brainiac. So this was all a setup issue. It was still good, it was exposition, but it looks like issue 3 is where we're gonna really start getting into the action. I like the interchange between Batman and Zach. It was really funny. Zach kept telling him, he's like, listen, good guys on our Earth smile. Why don't you ever smile? And Superman's like, well, Batman's a little intense. It's a lot of fun. If you're a big fan of the Justice League and the Power Rangers, pick it up. But we all are waiting for issue 3 because that's the one where we know the action's gonna pick up. But check it out. Dave Baker has his indie pick of the week. Let's see what Dave has to say.
My pick this week is Sixth Gun, published by Oni Press, written by Cullen Bunn, drawn by Brian Hurt, colored by Bill Crabtree. It's a supernatural western. It's amazing. The book ran for 50 issues. There's 9 volumes. You can get it at any comic book store. It stars a gunslinger with a mysterious past named Drake Sinclair who collects people along his journey in an attempt to gather up all 6 of these mystical 6-shooters. One of them grants you immortality. One of the 6-shooters lets you resurrect dead people. One of them lets you shoot like giant explosives. They've all been enchanted. The key to these guns, though, is that if they're all brought together, they can basically cause the apocalypse. So there are multiple factions of people, one of whom being Oleander Bedford Hume, a formerly dead general for the South who has decided that he's going to use these guns to bring about the apocalypse. Some of them are headhunters. There's a Pinkerton organization called the Knights of Solomon who are just trying to stave off the apocalypse. And the book is amazing. It takes all of these elements and weaves them into one single narrative over these 50 issues. And the best part is that how it uses comics. Like, one of the issues is completely silent, issue 23, like G.I. Joe 23, which is the first time that ever happened. One of the issues starts with a double-page spread, and then every double-page spread post that, all the panels double. So in the middle of the issue, it's this crazy rising tension where there's like 50 panels on the page, and they're like this big, and there's people running around with 6-shooters trying to stave off the apocalypse. It's amazing. The book is available wherever comic books are sold. There's 9 volumes. You should really check it out if you like things like Westworld, Deadwood, High Plains Drifter, Unforgiven, Clint Eastwood as a human, except when he's talking to chairs. It's really, really great. You should go check it out.
That's One Shot Comic Reviews. I'm the Power Ranger guy here, so of course I'm going to be talking about Power Rangers. It was fun filling in for Javier. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending in geek pop culture.